Hi everyone, my name is Ron Van Sessen. I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate and I've been teaching science sourcing and supplements for going on 6 years now. It's something I really enjoy. I have a number of YouTube videos out there talking about these kinds of things, but they're getting kind of dated. So I've been told recently, Ron, you need to get some updated videos out there. There's new information. So that's what I'm doing. This video here is part 2 in a series I'm doing on metabolic health. And so if you missed part 1, please go back and watch that one. But I'm going to say a couple things about part 1 now, just to kind of give a quick recap. First thing we talked about was how we measure whether or not our metabolism is really working and how well it's working. And we do that based on not how we're burning energy, but how our bodies are creating energy. That's the true test of how healthy our metabolism is. And then we talked about different kinds of energy, and we talked about things like neurological energy, which we can get from caffeine. We talked about what happens when we induce a bunch of sugar, and that's kind of a short-lived, short-changed energy. But real metabolic energy happens at the cellular level, and there's a process that it goes through. So we're going to talk about that process and the ways that you can support that process or even stimulate that process. If you're feeling sluggish, if you're feeling like your mental acuity just isn't what it used to be, there are things we can do to help support that within our bodies. And I'm going to share some of those ingredients with you now. So the way that our body does this is through cellular respiration. And cellular respiration is a process of our bodies, our cells actually taking in food and taking in oxygen at the same time, and then they combine them in this kind of great chemical process, chemical reaction happens and turns them into an energy chemical that they can use. That energy chemical is called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. And then after they created this energy and they're able to start using it, then our cells also get rid of any waste product that was created as a process of that. So that's cellular respiration, taking in food, taking in oxygen, creating energy, and getting rid of waste. It's pretty straightforward, right? All right, so, but in order for our cells to be able to do this, there's some things they need to have. And these things they need to have are called metabolic cofactors. And these metabolic cofactors are things that our bodies produce. They can be proteins, they can be antioxidants, they can be enzymes, different things that our bodies need to facilitate this process. So our bodies can make these, but what we found out is that as we get older, our bodies aren't as good at it. They just aren't able to produce as much. The mitochondria in our cells that actually is where this process happens. We end up, as we age, we have less and less mitochondria, and they just don't function as well. So we can support this system and get a lot of that energy back. That's the good news. We can get our mental acuity back. We can get a lot of great energy back, and we can heal and recover much more quickly, just like we did when we were younger. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some of these cofactors that you need to look for. Now, some of these I'm going to go through a couple of them. I'm going to talk about them a little bit, but I'm not going to go in great detail, because ultimately all you need to know is that these ingredients are part of that process of that cellular respiration. They need to be there in order for this to happen. Okay. First one is we're going to call coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10 as it's commonly referred to. And you've probably seen a lot of supplements out there for CoQ10. It's very common, very good for us, great for heart health, great for a number of things inside our bodies. So CoQ10 is one of the very powerful ones. There's another one called quercetin, and quercetin is actually a flavonoid, and it works a little bit differently. It has a different responsibility in the cellular respiration process. Then there's also ALA, or alpha lipoic acid, and then acetyl L-carnitine. Now, acetyl L-carnitine I want to talk about, and the reason I'm going to talk about this one is because I'm going to refer to it again in a later video. So I want you to remember this, okay? Acetyl L-carnitine delivers, one of the things it does, the L-carnitine in and of itself, before it picks up the A, is responsible for delivering long-chain fatty acids into the mitochondria to convert them into energy. So it's a particular nutrient that that L-carnitine picks up from our diet and delivers it and converts it. Now, there's some of the other nutrients or other compounds in our bodies pick up other kinds of nutrients, like citric acid and other things like that. But the acetyl L-carnitine actually picks up long chain fatty acids. And because it has that A, here's the really cool thing about it. Because it has the acetyl in front of it, when it has that in front of it, that means that that particular compound is actually able to move past the blood-brain barrier. Now, you may not be familiar with the blood-brain barrier, so let me tell you what that is. There's actually a barrier in our body so that if we get sick, we get a disease in our bodies, and it's in our blood system, it cannot get into our brain. Okay, that's part of one of the great things about our immune system. If it were not for this case, every time we get a cold or any kind of a bug, our brains would start to shut down. We wouldn't want that to happen. Right. So there's a blood-brain barrier that protects our brain from the rest of our body getting sick. Okay, so because the acetyl L-carnitine can actually pass through the blood-brain barrier, this is one of the ingredients that actually helps with cognition. It helps us to get rid of that brain fog, it can help us support memory. All these, this is one of the great benefits of this particular ingredient. Now again, what does the acetyl L-carnitine do? The L-carnitine transports long chain fatty acids to be converted into energy. Transports them into the mitochondria to be converted into energy. And because it has the acetyl in front of it, it's able to pass through the blood-brain barrier. That's really important, and I'm only pointing that out because we're going to talk about it more later on. So there are things that all these things you can take. These are great ingredients that you can have in order to support this process. Now, if you add on top of that some great antioxidants, like polyphenols, for example, that help cells to be able to function more properly. They take away, that's what antioxidants do. They take away what we call free radicals in our cells that inhibit cellular activity. If our cells have a bunch of free radicals in there, it's kind of like they're being attacked from the inside. So if we add some polyphenols in there, some antioxidants, then that will help that process, and our cells are going to function more properly. So they're functioning better and they're creating energy at a much higher rate. And this means much better recovery and much better health for us overall. So tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but my next video, it'll probably be Friday, I would assume. Today's Wednesday, so in 2 days I'm going to do another video. And that'll be part 3 of this, where I'm actually going to share a particular supplement that I take that is available through doTERRA that supports this entire process, and it's very foundational. One of the most important supplements I've ever taken, and it's that important to me, and I would not give it up if somebody offered me, I can't think of anything, I would not give up taking the supplement. So we're going to talk about what that supplement is in our next video, and then we're going to move on from there and talk about some more great science sourcing and supplementation. So thank you very much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Come to one of our workshops here at Inspiration Wood Wellness Club and learn more about the wonderful gifts that of wellness that we have to offer. And until then, of course, as always, we wish you wellness. Have a good day.